I'm joined here by Jeremy Irons to understand what words have changed your world.
Yes, on occasion has changed it, but I think probably it's the printed word that I think biography, history, reading about that has changed my perception of life, and I think that's quite important. Dickens, the human condition and history. The spoken word. I knew someone called Dan Berrigan once, who was a Jesuit protester, and Dan, with his quiet conviction, changed my world a little bit. It's interesting that this is called words, what we're doing, because, strangely enough, I think it's more about speech. It's how you put those words across. That's what grabs hold of the heart. And great oratory, whether it be Lincoln at Gettysburg or Obama or now and again even Tony Blair in a sort of milk light way, but great delivery can grab hold of the heart in a way that if it's read without that great delivery, you think, oh yeah, well that all makes sense, but it doesn't actually catch my emotion, catch my heart. And I think that's what oratory is all about.
And how do you bring that out? What is it? Your job is to receive words and own them and elevate them.
I think it's understanding what the orator was wanting to do, what he was wanting to say, how he felt, the sort of man he was. I mean, if you take Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream, listen to him do it, and you fly. Look, listen to a great actor doing Henry V, and you fly. Read it on the page, and you think, this is a little bit old-fashioned and difficult. So I do think it's, a dart is a dart and is a word. How you throw that dart and in what direction will show the worth of that dart and the worth of the way you can communicate. And I think it's all about that. I'm appalled how the present generation, what I call the screen generation, how they communicate. I remember talking at Oxford about 2 months ago to the Oxford Union, and some questions were asked, and I said, before I answer these questions, where did you learn to speak? Because that way of speaking is not going to get you anywhere. You have to fill what you're saying with clarity, with enthusiasm, and all those colours and variation. And now, if you listen to the radio sometimes with people who are not professional radio people but being interviewed, you hear these boring cadences that just make you want to go to sleep, with no awareness of how language, how words can be used. And I think that's a great shame. I think the ability to debate and to throw ideas around and to all of that is sort of, we're losing it. You only have to listen to the House of Commons sometimes.
So for those of us who don't often get down to the pub to throw these darts, what is your recommendation for learning how to elevate the words, put meaning into
I think you have to be educated. I think it has to be at school. I think drama, one of the great things about having drama at school is that it allows children to stand up and say things in other people's words, and to say things clearly that can be heard. And to say things that contain passion and contain emotion, which is nothing to do with them. So they don't feel if they're shy, they don't feel it's got to be them, but just allows them to practice speaking.
So it starts at a young age?
I believe so. And I think drama and debate should be part of education. Arguing moral issues, political issues, sexual issues, arguing everything, finding out why we believe what we believe, I think it's an integral part of education, and I'm appalled that it doesn't exist in most state schools, certainly, and in many private schools.
What is the way that you get in to understand what the audience's perspective is? How do you develop the empathy for the character and the audience to bring the two together to elevate that level of emotion?
I don't think about the audience. I think purely about the character and the emotions of the character and what he wants and how he feels. And I believe if you find that truthfully, then it will communicate with some of the audience, not all of them.
So audience be damned, it's who I am on the stage, the character I'm
Give
playing.
them a good time, yes. I mean, be aware that they've paid to come, and one is in the entertainment business. Nevertheless, you want to take them on a journey. You want to make them care, and not just be dazzled by technique or scenery or lighting or whatever, but actually touch them really deeply. And you can do that. I've been around long enough to know that once or twice I've been able to do that, and it has nothing to do with my communicating with them. It's purely my being honest to the character in the situation, and there is an empathy, there is some sort of communication with an aware audience. Not all audiences are ready. You know, some have had a bad day, some are just somewhere else in their heads, some are tired. But with hopefully 10%, you can touch them.